Welcome back, guys. We are on episode 2 of Unfiltered Journeys podcast. We are so glad to have you guys.
And again, I'm Karina,
And I am Lisandra.
and we are your hosts.
We left off talking about, we kind of touched on at the end of our last episode, talking about separation and God having to remove you from people. So we kind of wanted to dive into that a little bit.
Yes. So let's start off by I'm going to ask you, have you had to cut off anybody recently? You don't have to tell us who, but
Boy,
what convicted you or what pushed you to kind of let go of this person?
So I've had to, this is crazy that you ask me this. Honestly, we have not planned this episode. We have
We're
not
just going with the
spoken.
flow,
We are literally
literally.
flying off the cuff here.
Which probably as we get into this, guys, we'll be more
Right. We'll be a little more coordinated. We'll get better.
We're getting there.
But crazy that you ask me that, because I feel like I just had to cut off a few people, actually. And maybe not cut off completely, but distance myself a little bit for sure. I think God was calling me to do that. I touched on it a little bit in our last episode where I was talking about a group of friends who I was with. And pretty much, long story short, when it came to that situation, I was sticking to my boundaries on something, and my friends were trying to convince me that I was crazy for my boundaries, essentially.
And we were just talking about boundaries.
And we were talking about boundaries too. And yeah, they were trying to convince me that I was crazy for the boundaries that I had. Didn't even care to know why I had the boundaries or anything. And then even when I did go and explain to one of the friends who I had been friends with for a very, very, very long time, there was just no safe space. It wasn't a space where I was being heard or anything. And so I did feel like I had to distance myself from them a little bit. Absolutely no hate or shade to anybody at all. I still absolutely love them.
Right.
But for sure, we're just in different, I think, paths and different walks right now that they're just not able to understand where it is that I'm coming from. I've done so much work in the healing journey that I think for me now, again, like sticking to boundaries and things like that for me are I'm firm on them.
Yeah, same.
And so people who don't do that and they're not on that same exact path, they don't normally, get it all the time or understand all the time, especially when it's not something that aligns with them.
Right.
If it's not a boundary they have, then it's, that's a dumb boundary kind of a thing. And so, yeah, it was tough. It was hard. It's not easy to walk away from people, guys. Like, we are not sitting here like, oh yeah, just cut people out of your lives. Like, it's very difficult and it takes time, and even took me so much time cutting off people in my life at various different moments of life that they needed to be cut off. But for sure, I think God just needs to move you at times.
Yeah.
And even if it's not a permanent, separation, and it's just temporary, he still needs to do work in you and in the other people. And I think what my problem is that I get very attached to people, and I am like, but I love them and I love people unconditionally, and I truly do. Like, any of the people who have hurt me in my past, even, I still have a love for you. It's not like I just stopped loving you and I don't even care about who you are anymore. The love is still there. But now I know I have to separate and remove myself from you, from whatever you're aligned with, because I know that God needs to do something in you. And I had to stop being selfish, I think, and thinking, oh, but my love can heal them. I can love them through this. I can heal them through this, when that's God's job. That's not mine. And so I think I had to stop giving myself that power and stop taking, it away from him. And
hand it over to him.
Because I think at moments he probably brought me to people to plant a seed, and then was like, okay, now you got to go. But then I was like, no, let's hold on.
this is a very touchy-feely for me, just because like I feel like I've had to let go of so many people in my life. And for a while I felt like sorry for myself because it was like I don't have anybody, I'm alone, nobody wants to be in my, you know,
that
like,
part sucks.
Yes.
That part sucks. The isolation.
The isolation. And I think I was in isolation for quite some time. And I had a lot of like guilt for making those decisions of cutting certain people out of my life. Like I cut like really important people, you know, like I don't have relationships with some of my family members. So like that's tough because it's like, you know, friends also hurt because I think I didn't really have a close relationship with my parents, who now I don't talk to, you know, and my friends kind of became like a chosen family for me. So like they meant a lot to me, and they mean a lot to me. So when things like wouldn't go right with friendships, like I would take that to heart.
So personal.
Yeah. Like, so like, what did I do? Like, can I fix it? Is it me?
That's the one.
And I would always like look inwards instead of kind of looking outwards and being like, but like you did everything you could possibly do. It's more of like that individual that needs to work on themselves to value you as a friend, you know. And I don't think I put that respect on myself at times. But of course there was times where I wasn't the best of a friend either, you know, like
right, we're not perfect.
Right. And like I think God sometimes separates us for that reason, because there's times where I haven't been a good friend, where God removed those people from my life because he needed to, you know, I wasn't in the right place. But there was also friends that like I needed to be removed from because I was very dependent on them, you know. And like I said, because of the relationships with my parents, like my friends were like everything, you know, aside from obviously my husband, who I've been with since like high school. Like my friends carried a lot of weight, you know. So it was tough, and I think God did it really slowly with me, because I don't have
like the removal process.
Yes, the removal process took some time, and it only maybe in the last like 9 years, and it started off with like my parents. So, you know, like that was tough, and that took maybe like 5 years, like the last 5 years, to like really have like no contact with them. And then it went into like friendships. And then as I got older, you know, out of my like mid 20s to like 30s, you just start to mature, and you just start to realize, and it's like this new awareness that comes to mind, and you start setting your boundaries, especially if you're actively healing, which I was with therapy, and like being more open with how I was feeling and what I had gone through. So all of that release was like at the same time removing the blindfold that I had for so many years, and like all the excuses that I had set for different people, that like I was no longer tolerating those like half-ass relationships anymore. And I was like, nah, like I deserve better. Like I'm a good ass friend. Like, you know, like why am I being treated like this? Like what did I do to you other than be a good friend to you? And I kind of started really like honing down on those things. And then, you know, just like I tell people now, like if you're valuable to me, you know that, because we are trying to work things out and having the difficult conversations. But if you weren't, like I wouldn't even think twice. Be like, okay, you feel that way, and that's how you think it went down, then you feel that way, and that's how you think it went down, and that's how we're gonna leave it, because I know who I am, and I know what my intention, and I'm not gonna try to convince somebody else of those things.
Oh my gosh. Know? Yeah, literally exactly that. And I feel as though relationships are just very difficult, you know?
Yeah.
They're very difficult, and to let people in and then to remove them and all of that, because then, like you said before, you start internalizing that and looking at yourself a little bit and thinking, what's wrong with me? What did I do? Where could I have been better? And it's not always that.
No. And I've learned like the people that truly love, like the people that are truly like your people, like I have no doubt that I can come to like any of my like friends now and be like, even your, you know, like I feel like we got really close in the last
Right.
few months, and I could be like, you know what, like I really want to talk about something. Like I've been feeling some type of way. Like you
Mm-hmm.
said X, Y, and Z, and I don't know where you were coming from, but I just want to make sure like what you said is
Right.
not what I thought you said, you know,
Right.
and like let's talk it out. Like I feel like if I can have those conversations with you, then you're my people. But if you over here like
Exactly.
aggressive or defensive about it, then
Right.
like I just can't like have that relationship with you.
I feel like if me telling you how I feel about something becomes a problem and
Right.
it creates like an issue between us, then how could we have ever really been friends? You don't care
Exactly.
about how I feel then.
Right.
You don't care about just me as a person if I can't even come to you and tell you. And it's never in like an attacking, accusatory
Right.
way, like you did this and you're wrong and you're horrible. It's such and such situation happened and this is how it made me feel. Can we talk about it? And for sure, exactly what you're saying. If people are not receptive to that, then how can those be your people?
Yeah, and you know, I've learned that through like my relationship with my husband because it's not any different, like, you know, in
Right.
terms of like other than the romantic part of it,
Right.
obviously. But
Yeah.
I've learned that, like, first of all, like, he's great at communicating. And like I told you earlier in the
Mm-hmm.
last episode, like, I suck at putting like how I feel into like words. Like, sometimes I have to write things
Right.
out.
Right. Right.
And like, over the years, like, he plus therapy has really helped me have that voice again of like really saying what my needs were or why I felt a
Mm-hmm.
certain way and blah blah blah. So it's like now that I have that skill set, because I really believe it's a skill. Like I really do
Right.
think it takes time for you
Oh,
to
for sure.
develop that.
You have to build that
You
and work
have
at
to
that.
build it
Mm-hmm.
because it's hard to like have those conversations, and it's hard
Right.
to like also be on the other end
Right.
listening to that
And we weren't
conversation.
taught these things. It's not
No.
like we grew up,
Right.
doing this and we're pros at this.
Or that we grew up witnessing healthy communication
Right. At
between
all.
parents or between family members, you know.
Exactly.
At least like we don't have
No.
that experience. But it was because of like how we communicate and, you know, how that dynamic works, that I kind of know how it should work with friends
Mm-hmm.
now. You know what I mean? Like I
For
should be
sure.
able to talk to you and we could be like, you know, like my best friend Andrea, for example, we've been friends for forever. And we were not talking for like a minute in some
Mm-hmm.
point there. Like we didn't talk to each other.
Yeah.
And we recently like reconnected and we had to have those difficult
Tough
conversations. Not
conversations.
recently, it's been a few
Right.
years. I keep saying that. And
Yeah.
she's like, girl, it's been years now. My bad, girl.
Hey,
But
Andrea.
right. But we didn't talk for some time and it was a lot of pride there, hurt there,
Right.
a lot of things that happened prior that like obviously, you know, just like made like me more than anybody like feel like I couldn't like be friends with her anymore. You know, like my
Right.
pride
Yeah.
was like, but like I knew like I missed her so much
Right.
that when we finally were able to have those conversations and be real and be like, yo, like you hurt me this way and X, Y, and Z, and I expected you to support me or I expect this X, Y, and Z. And we were like really took the time to hear each other out and
Right.
apologize and own up for the ways that like we hurt each other
Accountability.
and kind of just be like,
Love
how
it.
can we move forward? Like, I obviously want you in my life. Like, you know, like this is a relationship that I'm
Right.
willing to work for.
It
That's
really
how I
is
see
like
it.
a relation because oh man, I'm so heavy on relationships and as a whole, especially romantic ones though,
Yeah.
they take work. We are not used to having to, balance our own emotions and somebody else's at the same time. So
Mm-mm.
relationships take work and not only do they take work from both parties involved because you both have to be willing to fix things when they go wrong. You both have to be willing to have the conversations because if you're just constantly pouring into somebody, then
And you're not getting anything or reciprocated back.
right,
It
it's
drains
tough.
you.
Right,
And at some
exactly,
point, you're just like, so what's the point? You know,
exactly.
like I don't know. It's just like, you know, sometimes we get so as we get older, we forget what that like feeling was. You know, like when you were
Right,
young and you had your bestie and that was like your ride
right.
or
Yes,
die. like you forget what that's supposed to be like because I don't know what happens in our minds, but like we get all
life
trapped
gets in the
up
way.
in it, and it's simple. Just be a good friend.
I think a part of it is bringing past pains.
Yeah.
Is what it is. You know, you have the memories, which, oh man, memories suck sometimes. They're such a blessing and they're so beautiful, but sometimes they suck a little bit because when you have the memories of somebody hurting you and the memories of pain in the past or people who have played you or whatever the case may be, it ends up being easy to put that guard up when you're facing somebody new. And now you're almost punishing that person for something that somebody else did.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a little bit of an unfair balance because they didn't do anything to you. And even if they're doing things that might be slightly triggering, then you have to be willing to have those conversations and let people in and have the discernment to know, is this somebody who I can share with and trust and give them this information? Because sometimes you'll give information to people and they will use it against you.
Yep. That is the scary part. That is a scary part for me, and that's another reason, you know, like why sharing like my story was like, are people gonna weaponize this?
Right.
You know, because I don't know. Sometimes you don't know people's intentions, you know, and like you just never. I mean, you know, I'm only saying this because like I don't have high expectations for people sometimes, and that's awful. But
feel you
like, you though. You know, I do give people that trust in the beginning, and it always, sometimes, not always, at times backfires. So that's why I said it that way. But
and you're right, it's a reality though. It could be weaponized.
Like somebody could weaponize it against you, and I think for me the scariest times were like people didn't really know before I even put myself on blast. And I decided, okay, like I just became friends with you, and I was like sharing something really intimate with you.
Right.
But then here you go and share it with other people that I have no idea who they are, but here they are like, oh my gosh, she told me about, like that was like, oh my God, I would die, right?
Oh
like
my gosh.
That's what I would think about.
Right.
Like I would die. If
right. You don't want to tell somebody something and then you find out, right, they're chatting about it to every time. Never mind. Yes. You know the saying. But they're chatting about it to everybody. Of course, right? Because then that feels like a betrayal, and it also feels like, damn, that was my story to tell, and now
somebody else is telling it for me.
Exactly.
And I hate that.
And in a way that you like is missing details and all of the things, for sure.
Right. And that was for me like one of the biggest things is like I wouldn't want to share something so personal till this day because I don't know if I don't fully know this person and who they are and what their intentions are going to be with that information. If it's like something really like personal to me, you know, because I have trust issues.
I have trust issues.
I might seem trusting, but I have a little bit of trust issues in there.
And it's so funny because I feel like you're right. You seem like I'm so friendly and I'm so trusting and all of the things, right? And I almost seem, I think, as like the one who's a little bit more standoffish at times or like a little bit harder or tougher. But I'm such an open book. Like you come up to me and I'm like, oh, hey, like, how are you? Like so bubbly. And I will talk about anything and everything. I want to have all the conversations, especially the deep conversations.
Yeah.
I just really like to get to know people and their minds and the way that they think and everything. So it is funny because I feel like we're definitely like opposites, but in the most balanced way. It's so funny to me.
Yeah. I think we've said that a lot lately.
For sure.
Yeah, like I can be, you know, friendliness is like, I feel like I've always believed in being kind to people.
Right, for sure.
Like kindness has always been something that I'm very big on, I believe in, even to the people that might not deserve it sometimes. I feel like kindness is the best way to get to anybody.
Right.
You know? But kindness does not mean that I'm going to trust you like that. You know what I mean? Like I'm going to be 100%. Kind to you because you haven't done anything to me. So why wouldn't I be?
Right.
Like I'm going to be, hi, you know, how are you? Get to know you. But there is a wall there until I really get that feeling of like, okay, this person's cool.
Right.
Then I can share.
I actually posted a TikTok about that several months ago that it pretty much said, I'm kind, but I'm not nice. Mm-hmm. And I stand 10 toes on that all day, every day. Kindness is your character, right? I'm going to be kind to you because I'm going to be respectful of people and all of the things. But I'm not going to be nice because I feel like nice is a fake thing. Nice is what you do to please other people, right? Mm-hmm. It's like the optics of it. Oh, I don't want to step on toes, so I'm going to be nice here. No, if you just bothered me or triggered me or said something crazy out of pocket, I'm going to let you know. Right. I'm not going to be nice and keep the peace. I'm going to have a conversation with you. And that's
when it comes to disrespect and things like that, of course, yeah.
And that's the tough part, is that people will look at
speaking up for yourself, as
right?
You should, right?
People look at that as like the problem, though,
because they're not used to people standing up for themselves and setting those boundaries. It's like
exactly that
foreign, like it's very rare when people actually do it that you're like, yeah, very true. I feel like I recently tapped into that though, because I'm very non-confrontational.
Yeah.
Like always have been to a fault, that I avoided conflict for so long. And like I feel like recently I've had people reaching out, and I kind of was just like dead at things. Like, listen, like if you're not gonna reach out to me to have like a real conversation, or for us to have the like get squash whatever's going on, then like just don't reach out to me. Like kind of like, no, for sure. Just like stand on that, because it's like, why are we? I'm not gonna fake.
What are we doing? Right?
Like, yeah. What are we doing?
What are we doing?
Now? Like, let's just have this real conversation.
What was
and
the
let's
reason?
Get past right. And let's get past it, because I just don't have the time. I think it makes sense now, like as people get older, not to shade people that are older, but people that are older are actually cool and funny. But as people get older, like you tolerate less, especially if you're actively growing as you get older.
100%.
Tolerate less and less. Like that's why I say older people are hilarious, because like they be calling it like it is, 100%. Like from the jump.
They're like, whatever. They don't care. They're like, listen,
entertain it.
I've done the niceness for too many years. I don't care anymore. I'm not protecting your feelings.
Right. And they just tell you how it is, and and you can't say anything because it's the truth. So you're just there like, man, they got a point.
Honestly, I feel like for me, like when it comes to relationships and stuff now, like the space that I'm in is that, especially like romantic relationships, right? I'm not looking for love anymore. I feel like I've always been such a lover girl, and I'm like, oh, love, like it's just so beautiful and sweet and all of the things. And yes, to an extent, but I'm not looking for love anymore. I'm looking for like loyalty, respect, all of those things above just the face of love, because I know that if you love me, that if you feel like you love me, right, that can change. Too many people think love is a feeling, and that irks my soul. I feel like love is work. Love is choosing a person every single day, even when you don't feel like loving them. And so for me now, like if you have loyalty to me and if you respect me, I know you love me, because now you're showing me through your actions. It's not just something that, oh, like I feel like I'm in love with you today. Like you're just so beautiful and I just want to be near you and in your presence. Like, no, like there needs to be actual actions that back up everything it is that you're saying now.
Yeah, I'm big on that too. Like, I feel like I get so unimpressed about like talkers, that like I've always, even when I was young, I think, that's why like my husband, he was like 15, I was like 16. He was very, and I know I wasn't supposed to be talking about him like I said I wasn't going to be talking about him as much, because he's like so not on social media like that. But to give him credit, I felt like at such a young age, like he was about that. Actions. Like he showed me, he made me feel special. He would plan dates, and he was 15.
That's crazy.
Broke as hell, right? We were all like broke.
Damn, not 15-year-old hubby broke as hell.
But you know what I mean. We weren't
no,
working.
for sure. I mean, you're teenagers, of course.
Teenagers.
Yeah.
So it's like parents' money. But like he made that like
right.
Like he made me
Still
feel
special.
that special. Like
actions speak louder than words.
Till this day, girl, like he'd be like very, very intentional, and I think that shows you how a man views you, and it doesn't always have to be materialistic or take you somewhere, but it's the fact that your man wants to even do that. To me, that's like, ooh, okay.
It's the time, the attention, the investment for sure. I think all of those things are so far beyond anything materialistic. I don't need to be on these super fancy dates all day, every day.
Right.
I want to know that you actually care.
Exactly. And that's the most beautiful thing, because another thing, like obviously, you know, that I've learned through my relationship, and we touched on here a bit too, is my husband is like my safe space. Like there is not a person in this world that knows me in all of my ways. I mean, ugly crying. I mean, annoying as heck on my period. I mean, raging. Okay. Like
we all been there.
Cute and cuddly when I want to be all extra wifey. Like all of the things, right? When I'm down, when I'm depressed. Like there is not a person that knows me as well as he does. Again, over the years. So like being able to be like, all of me, and like, you know, all of our 8 personalities that come out at once, and this man just tolerates every single one that just like, be coming out. It's fine. That's like, it's like you can't put you can't describe that, you know,
for sure. 100%.
Like, it's just such a blessing, and I thank God every day that like he knows, like, I'm like, God, if I only get to keep this man, that's all I need, okay?
Honestly, I feel that, though, because I'm, like, a very good communicator. I'm such a lover girl, and I will pour into the person I am with. Like, I want to serve you, right? That's how I feel like a relationship should be. Like, you should be in service to one another. And also, I definitely have a little spicy attitude to me at times. So I for sure need somebody who is like a protector.
Yeah.
And who is calm,
grounded.
Right. You got to be grounded, because my attitude sometimes feels a little bit reckless. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But see, God's like, so I have this mindset, right? Like, obviously, I don't know what it's like to be single. I don't know what it's like to be in your shoes. I have no idea, right? But I feel like I get it. I think, like, also, obviously, I'm saying this without knowing what the experience is like, or knowing how I would feel. But I always see it like, I feel like the longer God makes you wait, like the man that he's preparing for you is like another level.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what I mean? Because like not only are you leveling up in this like season of being single, like you're learning about yourself, you're growing in God, like you're relying on God, and you're excelling as a whole in your own person, that I can't imagine like your other half would have to be there or higher. You know what I mean? Like the man that he has for you.
I 100% agree. I do think that because of the fact that I am being molded and shaped and prospering in certain ways, that God is like, listen, the person that I have for you, I'm still working on them. I'm still working on this person over here. So like, you just got to hold there, sis. You got to wait a little bit. And God knows, like, you're not patient. So this is also me teaching you how to be patient. And baby, God, I think I learned my lesson. I think I'm patient enough now. So just let me know. Let me know when we're ready.
You know, let him drop down from heaven.
But 100%, you're right, though. I think for sure.
I think
you,
when God, and I told you this at the conference.
That's true.
One thing we were talking about. And I was like, girl, the man that God is going to have for you, you're going to remember what I said. Remember, yes. I was like, you're going to remember when he puts him in your life, you're going to be like, damn, she was right. Because it's going to be like, oh my God.
Out of nowhere, right?
Like everything.
100%. Like, you know? And I do feel like that. I do feel like it is when God brings me my person, it is going to be out of this world in a way that I'm just like, wait.
And you know, also with the realistic mindset of like, he's a person. Of course, there's 100%. Things that are gonna have to, but it's like, it's just gonna be such a beautiful feeling that you're just gonna know, like, oh, this is it. Like,
every relationship is gonna have problems. Every relationship on the planet. There's never going to be a single relationship on earth that has no problems ever. I think what makes the relationship and builds the relationship is how you work through those problems.
Yeah, amen to
for
that.
Sure.
Exactly. And you know, like that the person that you're with is your person. If there's issues that come up and you guys can, you know, there's moments of anger. We're human. There's moments of arguments. There's moments where we're gonna disappoint and hurt each other, and it's what you do after,
right,
that matters. It's, oh, she just went off on me, F this, I'm leaving. Or it's coming into the room like, so you done?
Right.
You ready to talk?
Have a conversation?
Yes, I'm ready. Yes, you know, like that's
Aggie.
Yes, I'm ready.
Yeah, sure.
Are you done?
Let's talk.
That's more me. Are you done? Yes, I'm done. He's like, all right. But that's so how you know, because it's like, there's never that option of like, I'm out of here. It's more of like, I'm gonna just give her time, or I'm gonna give him time, or we're gonna talk about this, or we're not gonna go to sleep until at least we're somewhere where we can just find some sort of middle ground here, you know?
Sure, yes.
But I think that's like huge. It's like, that's a big telltale. Like, if that person, there's no leaving you. It's, how are we gonna work this out? What are we gonna do about it?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Ooh, yes. Dear baby Jesus.
Girl, I'm telling you, get ready. I'm gonna be there like episode. What episode? Let's see.
Episode 72. She finally found her person.
Episode, let's say episode. I'm gonna give it like, let's say 20. Episode 20. I'm gonna give it 20.
Is that a word from God?
Let's see, 20. I'm feeling 20.
We're feeling 20. Okay, we're manifesting.
Tell y'all on episode 2 that she was gonna find her man. Watch. That's what we're gonna do.
Episode 20. We've got a lot of expectations for episode 20. That's what they're telling us then. That's what they're telling us now.
That's that number in my head, 20. Let's see where we're at. Let's see. I don't know.
I'm honestly so excited. I'm so excited for this pod. Like, all jokes aside,
yeah.
I am so excited for this podcast. I'm so happy that we're doing this. And like we said in our last episode, even just recording, everything feels so different this time. It feels, for me, it was already comfortable. I'm pretty comfortable in front of a camera, but it feels so right now. It feels so comfortable, relaxing, and even I feel like even way more present with you even in these, and like we're having a conversation that they can join in with us, you know, on our unfiltered journey.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
It just feels so much better. I'm so happy. I'm so excited, guys.
Yeah,
and we're so happy to have you.
And we are so excited. And for me, like, I've always, like, again, content creator, I always wanted to be one in terms of like,
well, you are,
I feel like, yes, exactly. Let me give myself some credit, girl. Sheesh. But I feel like sometimes we don't give ourselves our credit for the small steps that we take. And this is like a small, well, there was a sequence of small steps that led to this, you know?
To a big one.
To a big step. So it's kind of just like, I don't know, it's just like, it's exciting because I feel like it's the start to like something that I don't know what it is, but it just feels exciting because it's 100%. The start to something like bigger and bigger than us, honestly.
For sure.
It's bigger than us. And I think that's what I'm excited, because the purpose of this podcast is beyond us.
100%.
It's for you guys and anyone out there that's listening that maybe needs two silly girls on the couch talking about the struggles they've been through, and maybe laugh a little, you know, and learn something or not learn, or don't take some of our advice. Who knows, you know?
No, for sure. Maybe you can give us advice.
Right.
We're not perfect over here.
Seriously. But it's been fun, and that's what it's about. It's about enjoying it, having fun with it, and again, allowing God to use it in whatever way that he wants to use it. And
absolutely,
let this be his vessel.
And creating a little community that can, you know, take this ride with us, take this journey with us, and we can lean on each other.
Exactly. And it'll be fun. And it'll be like a big girls' night every time you watch, you know?
Oh my gosh, slumber party? Can we like do the next episode in like our pajamas?
Right? I was just going to say that. We should do one. Yes. That would be fun. I would be down.
Definitely let us know what it is that you guys want to see on here. Let us know what you want to talk about. We are here for open communication, conversation, all the things.
Yes. And the more engaged you guys are, and let us know what you liked, what you thought was funny, what topics.
Even if you didn't like something.
Even if you didn't, yes. Please let us know. We are super open to learning this process and giving you guys exactly what it is that you want to watch.
100%. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, share, repost, all of the things. We love you guys, and we are so excited to have you in our community. Can't say it enough.
Yes. Have a blessed night.
Thank you guys for watching Unfiltered Journeys podcast, whether you're watching or listening to us. We love you, family.
Yes. Have a great night or day or morning. Goodbye.
I love it.